jobs and closing certain chicken processing units in order to keep costs under control. I'm Lisa Taylor.
One of the largest ever lottery paydays is up for grabs tonight in the Mega Millions drawing. The jackpot now estimated at just over $1.5 billion, making it the largest payout in Mega Millions history. Brad Siegel, NBC News Radio.
Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
It is Coffee Ann on ON Radio on this Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan. With me at the Coffee Ann table, Ed Carew from the Carew Investment Group. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, everyone.
Nice to have you see you over there. And Linda Tebow is here as well from Aging Well. Hi there, Linda.
Good morning.
Did I see that you guys have a new logo, new website?
Yes,
kind of thing?
yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes,
That's
yes.
exciting.
Yes, it is.
All
Yeah,
right.
we put a lot of work into that thing.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Well, good for you. That's great. All right, Ed, time for first message from the Carew Investment Group, please.
Okay, Joe. Well, I got 3 words for you.
What are they?
Integrity, trust, service.
Oh, those are good words.
Those are good words. Yes, they are. 3 words that sum up what you can expect from the Carew Investment Group at 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket. Established in 1987, we've been helping local investors to build wealth and guide them through their golden years of retirement using quality stocks of companies that you know, many of which pay quarterly dividends. We also use investment-grade bonds and low-cost exchange-traded funds. To find out more about our services and for a quality investment approach, you can call Paul or me at 765-8880. Integrity, Trust, and Service, the Carew Investment Group. Securities offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
All right, Ed, thank you very much. Comments and questions can be called in 766-1240. First thing I wanted to bring up is a film director has just passed away in Hollywood. He was 87 years old. William Friedkin was his name, and the only reason I bring it up is because, in my opinion, he was the director of the scariest movie I've ever seen, and maybe you've seen it too, The Exorcist.
Oh, I know.
Did you see The Exorcist?
Yes, I did.
Ed, did you see The
I did.
Exorcist?
Yeah.
Okay, we've all seen it.
Yeah.
To this day, it is still
Many-
the scariest movie I have ever seen. Now, some people say, would you consider it a horror movie? Because I don't consider it a horror movie.
It's not a horror movie.
It's just but it's scary as can be.
Yes. I saw it, and I'm sorry I did. Nightmare.
Now I hear it, Mike. They're re-releasing it in theaters because it's the 50th anniversary of it. And the last thing I want to see is The Exorcist of the big screen.
I won't be seeing it.
It was bad enough on the small screen. Now, when it came out in 1973, I didn't see it in '73 because I was only 7. So my parents were very smart. There's no way you could see The Exorcist. But this is funny. I saw it years later, and when I was in college, where I thought I could, handle it, and I could, by the way. But now I'm watching it with friends in college, and we're in the dorm in the common area. So it's there were like 20 of us watching it, but they showed it at night. So I think it started like 10 o'clock at night. It's a kind of a long movie, so it's over at about 12:30. So now, okay, it's time. Time to call it a night. But I'm not in my dorm building. I'm in their dorm building. I have to walk to my dorm building, a quarter of a mile away, and it's dark, and it is 12:30. I am all alone, walking back to my dorm room, going, "Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!" But I made it just fine. I made it just fine. I gotta get to the building. That's how. If you haven't seen the movie, that's how freaked out.
It's scary.
Because it does. It stays with you. And to this day, the movie it stays with you.
Yes.
I do. I'm a little bit curious to see it again. If I were to see it again, of how the special effects hold up 50 years later, would you be as scared now, 50 years later when the movie came out? I don't think I'm giving anything away when Linda Blair's head spins all the way around.
I know. Yeah.
And you're like, wow. I don't know. It's actually a very good movie. I mean, as a movie, as a story, it's fantastic. It's just scary as can be,
Scary.
and although the ending is pretty good, and it's exciting, yeah. And the film director also did The French Connection.
Yeah, I was going to say, he did another very famous film.
Yes,
Yeah.
which was also fantastic with Gene Hackman. And,
Yes,
great
yes.
car
Saw that one.
chase at the end of the movie. That's fantastic. So, but amazingly, so he made. He died. He's 87. These films are 50 years old. He was in his 30s when he made these movies.
Young
So,
man. Yeah.
so good for him. So, nice big good career for him. So I mentioned to Ed off the air before we started. Okay, Ed, he was right again, by the way. When he mentioned it,
always is.
2 months ago, he said, "Watch, gas prices are going to go up in the summertime," and they seem to have all of a sudden like jumped 30 cents in like 10 days. I'm like, why? It's going up pretty high again. And is this just the normal summertime thing, or did you see something coming that was going to raise the price of gasoline?
Well, people are traveling more than they were before. Airlines are flying more than they were before. You can't get a seat on a plane. China is starting to come out of their recession, so they're getting their people back to work. People back in, traveling in China also, and even Europe is starting to come back from the recession that they've been in. They've been in a recession we haven't been.
Yeah.
But they have been, all that kind of stuff. And finally, Russia is not selling as much oil as they were before. That's starting to take effect.
Are they saving it for their army? And
Well, I don't know what they're doing. I think part of their problem is that I don't think they're able to produce as much as before because wells got to be maintained. All the equipment's got to be maintained, and all of the U.S. companies that made the parts and used to do that kind of stuff are no longer there. They can't get parts to replace things, so that hurts them. In Saudi Arabia and OPEC have cut back on the amount of
production.
The amount of production that they get. So you get all that, and we can't really do too much more. Our capacity. Refining capacity is at as far as it can go. The refiners are making a ton of money, but they're going at full out. And then we still haven't replaced the oil that we took out of strategic reserves. So there's all kinds of reasons why it should not be going down, put it that way.
Yeah. All right. Not good news, but
No.
it's just it's the way it is. You notice it after a while. It's gotten to the point where sometimes you don't even look at the price, and when you need gas, and now I'm pumping it up, and next thing you know, okay, when it ends, the price it was $47. I said $47. What happened?
Yeah.
It used to be 40, let's say. And it's like,
Yeah.
I was like, hey, what's going on? And that's when I looked at the price. I was like, hey.
Well, I had
Yeah,
noticed
this
that
thing
the
has jumped
price
up.
had been coming down, because I use premium in my
Yep.
car, and I noticed that it had come down to like $4.39 or something like that. And then last week when I filled up, it was $4.94. I said, "Well, that went like really quick because it moved up the week before that and stuff." But so it has moved up quickly, but I wasn't surprised.
Okay, I was. All right, so there we go there. Now, taking a look at the front page of the call, Linda being the RN here, if you're gonna shoot up in your car, you really shouldn't shoot up so much that you pass out, which is what seems to have happened with a couple of guys here in the city of Woonsocket. Because once you pass out and the car just doesn't, they're allegedly shooting up in their car, and then they pass out, and people, the occupants, not the occupants, but people that live around can see this, what looks like two people passed out in their car, and maybe they are, But then they call the police because they can see a white powdery substance and the drug paraphernalia just out in the open, like on the dashboard. So they call the police, Woonsocket Police, and they arrive along with the EMTs and like that. And when they tested the substance, it wasn't powdered sugar; it was cocaine laced with fentanyl, and so they were arrested. Possession of a controlled substance after the police were finally able to rouse them. And this is over on in Plaza Village, which is on Mendon Road. Yeah. It doesn't give me the date, the day that this happened. Not last Saturday. There it is. Okay.
Well, the people that called the police were very smart because,
yeah.
If you do see people that look as though they're passed out in the car, you probably should best call the police because they could be overdosing and they could die.
The caller of the police, he tried to wake up the two people in the car first.
Oh, really? I wouldn't do that.
No?
I wouldn't do that.
Well, he was banging on the windows
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
of the car. I wouldn't do that.
But
it didn't rouse them.
No. I mean, I had an instance one time where a young man was looked as though he was passed out right in front of my house, and he was there for quite a while. I called the police because you never know when they're coming out of their overdose, how they're going to react anyways. And if you can call and get help to them right away, it could prevent them from dying from the overdose.
Well, they didn't say they were overdosing at the time. But when the officers arrived...
But you don't know that.
No, you don't.
You don't know that. If they're passed out, you don't know that.
They were able to rouse them both, and one of the guys was described as being under the influence, and police said his speech was slurred, and he appeared to be unable to sit up in his seat.
Yeah.
That's how you know things are bad.
Yeah, things are not good. No, I mean...
You can't sit up.
Yeah.
And when they finally were able to get him out of the car to stand, he was unsteady.
Yeah.
And that's when they saw several hypodermic syringes in the vehicle.
Yeah.
Of course, then they search it, and they found... pipes and glassine bags and with more white powder, and then they say, I don't own those, are not mine. That's always the best thing to say.
The tooth fairy.
That's not mine. I don't know how they got into my pockets. I didn't put them there, but they've been charged with lots of stuff, and the companion was not charged.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I guess he didn't have anything on him.
Oh, because he wasn't driving.
And he wasn't driving.
Yeah.
The driver, he's free on $1,000 personal recognizance. He'll be back in court in November 2nd.
Yeah.
So, good job by the Woonsocket Police to...
and good job by the people, good Samaritans
the
that called the
bystanders,
police. Yeah. And, they got in trouble, but they're alive.
Well, that's right. So, good for you. And they tried banging on the window.
Yeah,
hey,
that...
wake up, and I can't wake these guys up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
There was one time, I don't know if you remember this. This happened. Remember there was the Showcase Cinemas that were in Seekonk. If you remember where those were. Someone went there with a car, and he was bent on killing himself. And by the way, he succeeded. So he went there like around 1 or 2 in the morning. The movies had all let out, so he's the only car in the parking lot. And all the windows were up, but he left a sign on the dashboard and said, "Don't touch me, call the authorities," because it was like fentanyl like everywhere. And a couple of kids on bicycles saw what looked like this guy sleeping in his car, like 9 or 10 in the morning, and they saw him and they saw that sign and they called the police. And so they had to bring in the people with the hazmat suits to open up this car and get this guy out. And he killed himself, but he was protecting other people.
Yeah.
And so don't touch me because I'm full of this bad stuff. And he was. Yeah. It was about 10 years ago this guy did that.
Wow.
I thought that was amazing. So you never know.
No,
going up to the car,
exactly.
and maybe the kids did bang on the window until
Yeah.
you see the sign.
Yeah.
That person put up a sign
Yeah.
and say you try to rouse these guys. Hey, you all right? You gonna be okay? Scary stuff, though, sometimes. It is. All right. Break time here on Coffee Ann once again. So it's back over to Ed Carew for a second message from the Carew Investment Group.
Okay, thanks again, Joe. Good morning again, everyone. Are you retired or retiring soon? That's great. Congratulations. You may be retiring, but your money can't afford to retire. I'm Ed Carew of the Carew Investment Group at 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket. At the Carew Investment Group, we offer personal investment management of client money, especially from the proceeds of their 401k distribution after they leave the workforce. So to find out more about our services and for professional management of your investments, you can call me, Ed Carew, or you can call my son Paul Carew at 765-8880. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
All right, Ed, thanks. And the Coffee and program will continue. You can call in your comments and questions at 766-1240.
When it comes to emergency service for plumbing and heating, you can't beat C.J. Nemus, 37 Corey Street in Woonsocket. C.J. Nemus offers over 15 years of experience and is licensed in both Rhode Island and Massachusetts. C.J. Nemus offers complete heating system service, plumbing, water heaters, plus drain and sewer cleaning. Remember that senior citizens receive a 10% discount. So give Charlie a call today at C.J. Nemus, 769-4776. They're registered with the Better Business Bureau. They're a master plumber with quality service. It's the only way and the best way. With C.J. Nemus, call today, 769-4776 for C.J. Nemus.
Hi, this is Joanne Borsia Hebert, calling for all classmates of Woonsocket High School class of 1978. Come help us celebrate our 45th reunion at Bella's Restaurant in Glendale, Friday, September 15th from 5 to 10. Looking forward to sharing memories of our past and creating new ones. Please call Linda Barad Senecal at 401-766-3134 for more information. We also have a Facebook page, Woonsocket High Class of 1978, to find out more information also. Hope to see you there.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
ON, AM, and FM.
All right, Coffee and here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here, along with Linda Tebow and Ed Carew. And Ed,
Yes.
you've gone horse riding, haven't you, in Miles Standish State Forest?
Oh, yeah.
In Plimpton?
Many
in Plymouth?
many times.
There was a shooting there.
Yeah.
How about that? That doesn't happen very often down there.
No, but that's a huge forest. It is 150 acres or so. It's huge.
Okay. Well, they got into a fight. These two guys get into a fight in the picnic area.
Yeah.
Are you aware where the picnic area is?
Yeah.
Sounds like it would be crowded at the picnic area.
It depends when.
Yeah. And I read what they were. I forgot what they were fighting over. Doesn't really matter, I guess. No. But one of the guys pulls out a gun and shoots him. Montero Macedo. He is from New Bedford. He was arrested at his apartment in New Bedford over the weekend. And but yeah, I'm like, wow, you don't normally hear of any kind of violent activity at that state park down in Plymouth. And I think Ed's going horse riding there.
Oh yeah, that's a huge.
Are there specific horse trails?
Yes.
For horses?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a 5, there's a 10, there's a 15, there's a 25, and I think there's a 50.
It goes like
yeah,
all the way around?
They go in a loop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, are these one-lane trails for horses? Do you have to go in the same direction? Does everyone have to go in the same direction?
No. A couple of areas where it's small, you know, you probably have to go just one horse. But for the most part, you can actually get a vehicle to go down there.
Oh, all right.
Like I said, this is a huge place. So, so they have to be able to get in there with a vehicle to cut back some of the brush. Mm-hmm. At the place to catch on fire, and so they do cut back on the brush in different areas where it gets overgrown. It's the strangest place to ride that I've ever seen. Well, because of it's so close to our house that we go often, and you go there in the springtime, and everything is like just starting to sprout up. The trees are just starting to have leaves, and a lot of growth is very short, maybe 6 inches, a foot and a half, whatever. And you go back a month or 2 months later, and it's a little bit taller. And you go back 2 months later, and it's like, where am I? You're on the same trail, but it has grown. The trees and the brush and the everything has grown so much.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it really is a beautiful place to ride, and a couple of times we've ridden there, and there's one area where it's very wide, and it's like dirt, like beach sand almost, and there's a lot of rock also, and but it's very wide. You're going up the hill, and if you're going, this is a good place to gallop. So we'd let them run.
Yeah.
And it would not be unusual to see 2 or 3 deer come out of the woods and run along with you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So they're not natural enemies, huh?
They're not afraid of the horses.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if they notice the people.
Probably not.
Yeah. That was always one of my favorite things. Yeah.
Wow. Now, over my vacation last week, just seeing a lot of different videos online. Stuff I didn't know about horses is that if you don't take care of their hooves, they grow like fingernails.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that. And there are some really neglected horses with huge hooves that they had to go in and.
Yeah. The SPCA will come and take them away from you.
I don't even know how they could walk. The hooves were so overgrown.
That's cruelty to animals.
Yeah. And so people came in, the people that know what they're doing, and take care of the hooves.
Yeah.
So cutting them is like cutting your fingernails. There's no pain involved in that, right?
No. Our farrier comes about every 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's good that you take care of that. But it's weird to see a horse with long hooves. Yeah. You're just not used to seeing it. And it's like 6 inches, 6 to 8 inches long. It's like, wow, that's not right.
No, it isn't.
Our horse dentist comes every 6 months, comes twice a year, to file down the teeth.
Will they become pointy?
Yes.
They will?
Yeah.
And
they'll cut themselves while they're eating because their teeth are pointy.
I didn't know that. Even though they're, I guess they're not, the stuff they eat doesn't help file down their teeth, does it?
No. They're eating grain and they're eating hay and they're eating grass and stuff like that. And
Now, how well do they take to having their teeth filed?
It doesn't take long.
No? Okay.
And they actually like it.
They do?
They enjoy it.
Oh, okay.
You can tell that they can tell that they're liking it.
All right, good stuff. Now, down in Rhode Island, something's going on down at Federal Hill. There's been shootings and robberies, like on Atwells Avenue. And another armed robbery took place on Federal Hill. Victim was robbed of his Rolex watch and other items. He was parked on Atwells Ave. Of course, it was overnight. Maybe you shouldn't park on Atwells Avenue overnight. But he was shot and he was taken to Rhode Island Hospital. Two men also had Rolexes taken on a 4th of July weekend incident, which also took place on Atwells Avenue.
So is this different than it used to be 55 or 60 years ago?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
No, all right, just different people, I guess. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, the police are looking into it. Want to know if they're somehow connected. It sounds like it is, but maybe it's just a coincidence that people happen to be wearing Rolex watches.
I was just going to say, not everybody wears a Rolex watch.
Exactly.
My swell Timex here isn't going to get much money at the pawn shop.
Right. You're safe. You could go walk in
safe.
there.
Yeah.
Is that a
As a matter of fact, they may give you a watch.
It's right. You want to buy one?
So they could call it the Rolex connection,
Good one. Well, I'm familiar with that part of Providence because it's closest to the Civic Center, or the AMP is what they call it now. But you just don't want to hang out there at night, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing. Yeah. All right. So let's see. There's something else I wanted to bring up to Ed. It took them a month, the legislature, a month longer than they should have, to pass the budget.
Okay.
Yes, and so now, the state Senate president is defending the legislature. She said legislators worked hard on the spending plan while the state continued to operate on a supplemental budgets, and Maura Healey hasn't signed it yet. The governor, she has until Thursday to act on this $55 billion budget.
And
has she said she's going to do anything to it, or I haven't heard.
I haven't heard anything.
She's too busy traveling to other countries.
I don't know. Maybe she's trying to figure out if she wants to sign it as is. Because don't we have a line item veto?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay. And so speaking of Mora, I find this amusing. I mentioned this to Ed before we went on the air. The governor wants to declare a state of emergency for the entire state of Massachusetts, which would I'm looking at the Linda, which would make you think, well, what's happened? What natural disaster has taken place
Right.
that will encompass the entire state? Well, not a natural disaster. There's been no tornadoes, or there have been tornadoes,
Floods.
but not
Yeah.
all over the
Yeah.
state, and there's no big floods that have taken place. But no, this is what she wants to do. She wants an emergency declaration because the state's shelter system has become overburdened. All right? The recent influx of migrants, we had another influx of migrants go down to the Cape, has combined with the current Massachusetts housing crisis, has led the governor to consider urgent action. All right? State housing officials say the current situation in shelters is catastrophic, and an emergency declaration would make federal aid available. So she's looking for money. But doesn't say what she's going to do with the money.
And just having the money, how is that going to help homelessness?
Well, once a declaration was made, the state could appeal to the federal government for funds to pay for emergency housing, food, and other supplies. We're going to play the Holiday Inn and the Quality Inn for housing these people. And I guess that's where they think the money's going to come from.
That's what they'll do with it.
Yeah.
Permanent solution, huh?
It's not really a permanent solution at all.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah, usually when there's a state of emergency and you get money, it's for temporary, but with a plan to
Yeah.
fix it.
Now, if you're, I don't know who you go to, I guess FEMA
FEMA.
for the federal
They're going to put
emergency.
up those emergency housing things that they do when there's hurricanes. And
Yeah. Are they going to do? Are they the people to talk to about homelessness shelters? Is it that kind of an emergency?
I don't know. I don't.
That's not.
I think
don't
they're going to
think
say
that's what they do.
That's not our
That's not
department.
what they do.
Yeah,
no.
I mean they're there for emergency
For
shelters
disasters.
because of a natural disaster.
Natural disasters.
I don't think they're. Maybe they are. You never know. Maybe their role will be expanded.
Yeah.
And, yeah, when they say, "Well, go down the hall to third door on the right," talk to them. They're just going to kick you back probably to FEMA and say,
Yeah.
"Well, you people have got to take care of this now." Then they can always say no to the state because it sets a precedent. Once one
Yeah.
state gets money for this, they're all going to want money
Well,
for
yes.
this.
Because,
Well, you did it for one. Why not all of us?
Well, because all of those states, especially now the southern border, they're getting
Look
inundated.
at Texas.
Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Nice try. I don't know if this is actually if she'll actually get what she's looking for.
She's being creative.
Well, it's creative. I mean, what's the worst they can say is no. I don't know. So, all right. So that's what the governor wants to do there. Let's see what else is going on. Anything? What's going on at Aging Well? I haven't heard. We got an update from that.
Really, the regular stuff. We have the new website,
Right.
which
Okay,
was very,
good.
very exciting. A lot of the staff worked really hard with the company that we use, and I don't know what the company's name is, but I don't do that stuff. But so that's kind of exciting. And as I said, I've been away for a few days, so I wasn't in the office at all last week.
When they unveiled it.
Yeah, I wasn't around, so I kind of missed a few things, but.
All right. Well, but all the normal stuff is
The normal
going on
stuff,
down
the
there?
exercise classes, all the other programs. I know we have in September. There's a luau coming up, like an end of summer kind of an event with a DJ and music and all kinds of stuff. That I forgot that it's in September.
Who cooks for that?
Actually, the caterer does.
Oh, okay.
we usually go with the
You
caterer.
hire somebody. Okay.
Yeah, we usually have a caterer. Some of our events, Steve Healy.
Yes.
Some of those things he'll actually cook himself, but most of the times when we have an event like that, we use the caterer, and and it works out. But everybody has fun. Everybody's dancing and have music and good food, and it's fun.
All right.
Things are good.
Well, when you know the date, let us know when the luau is.
It's September, and I should know the date, and I don't. But we'll have it next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we talked about Maura Healey wants money for housing the homeless. Well, in Worcester, Mass, the nonprofit organization Worcester Community Housing Resources has paid $10 million, and they have bought a vacant former hotel. It was a former Quality Inn and Suites that was in Worcester, and they plan to use it to transform it into a shelter.
Well, that's a good idea.
When I first saw it, I thought that they bought a regular hotel, but I didn't know it was vacant. So if they're going to do that with a vacant hotel, okay. There's 114 rooms. Mm-hmm. They want to transform the 114 rooms into 90 units of affordable housing for homeless people.
Oh, okay.
All right. The plan has been met by opposition, naturally,
of course.
by nearby residents who are concerned about increased traffic, crime, and drug use in the area from the shelter.
Yeah. And sadly, things like that do happen in shelters.
But if it's a vacant hotel, is that stuff, aside from the traffic, isn't the other stuff already happening?
On the streets.
Yes, right in front of it.
Right in front of you.
The crime and the drug use in front of the vacant hotel might already be going on.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So now we're going to move it inside. Isn't that better?
Perhaps.
Perhaps. You don't know.
No, there are so many reasons that people don't have homes. You know? I mean, it's some are self-imposed.
Mm-hmm.
Some are self-imposed. Some are not. And it's a huge problem. And just declaring a state of emergency or at least if something is empty, repurpose it, and.
Probably be a while though before they can.
Well, of course, and it's very costly too.
Yeah,
it's
and to turn 114 rooms into 90 units, that's going to be a lot of construction work.
Oh yes, it is.
On the inside to take care of that. So, all right. Well, I hope it works out for them there. We're going to take a break here in the Coffee and program and take a look at the forecast, which is being brought to you by Compassion International.
Showers and possibly thunderstorms today. Heavy rain is possible with gusty winds in some of the storms. Patchy fog, too. High of 81. 1 to 2 inches of rain is possible with winds from the southwest. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms continue. Some storms could produce some gusty wind. Mostly cloudy skies overnight with a low of 65. Wednesday's weather mostly sunny and 83. Thursday, partly sunny and 83. Friday, sunshine and 81. Saturday, sunshine and 84. Sunday, partly sunny with a high of 85. And on Monday, mostly sunny skies with a high of 84.
Currently outside the Navigate Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street with the clouds and light rain, we have 75 degrees. Families in poverty are facing a global food crisis. $50 provides a food kit to feed a family for a month. Just text the word radio to 97646.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
It's come full circle for the owners of Ollie's Pizzeria in Woonsocket. Tina started working at Ollie's as a teenager. Sam was working at another local pizza shop. They meet, fall in love, and get married. After owning 3 other pizzerias, they now own Ollie's Pizzeria. Sam and Tina are working hard to make the original owners of Ollie's proud, and they want to partner with the community too. It's time to try the godfather of all pizza shops once again. Ollie's Pizzeria, 204 South Main Street, Woonsocket. Order online at olliespizzeria.com.
This Friday, August 11th, at the Levitt Amp Free Concerts at Woonsocket's River Island Art Park, we open with the synth pop music of Chilean-born producer Morris Ossa, known to his fans as MAU, M-A-U. Then, at 7:30, our headline performers, the high-energy reggae and ska of The Agents. Live music, food trucks, on-site bar, kids' activities, and activities for everyone with the dynamic Jerry from Jerry's Bluffing Boutique. If you can't come this week, the concerts will be broadcast live over the air on ON, AM, and FM stereo radio and streamed live at WoonsocketRadio.com or watch in your home on your smart TV via the ON Worldwide channel on YouTube. Our broadcast is sponsored in part by Cumberland Kitchen and Bath Design Center, Tasca Buick GMC, Family Discount Furniture, Dean Bank, Peter J. Hopkins Attorney at Law, and Jerry's Bluffing Boutique.
Coffee Ann on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday morning. Joe Callahan here with Ed Carew and Linda Tebow. And I always enjoy bringing up these stories, Ed, to Linda because she's the registered nurse here. And just to watch her shake her head and roll her eyes of what people will do in the realm of medical science, thinking, oh, this is a good idea because I saw it on social media, so it must be okay.
Uh-huh.
So here's the latest. Ready?
Okay.
Now, the doctors are warning. They're warning against using vegetable oil in your eyes, despite some folks on social media encouraging its use for your eyes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. There's widely seen videos on TikTok showing people rubbing castor oil around their eyes and promoting it as a way to treat eye-related issues. Doctors say it could cause an infection.
Sure.
And recommend seeing an eye or vision specialist instead if you start having problems.
Who are these people that are recommending that?
Well, they're just your normal folks.
And so we should listen to them, right?
Oh,
my God.
It's on social media. It must be
It must be true, Ed. Oh, my God.
There are some people out there, there's a certain segment of the population that are very fearful and very skeptical of the medical community. They're only out to make a buck. They just want to pump you full of drugs, and they're all bad.
But castor oil is good.
Well, now they go on social media, and here's another person that thinks like me, that they're against the medical community. Oh, they're doing this. It's something the medical community won't tell you to do, because they're hiding something from us.
Uh-huh.
And therefore, but it's working for this person. They're telling me the truth. I'm going to do it too.
Oh, my God.
And we know Joe loves conspiracy theories.
Yes, I was just that's what I was thinking.
So, matter of fact, I think if you go check in his car, he probably has a little bottle of
Bottle of
castor
castor
oil.
Well, first of all,
You're wearing glasses. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I do hate anything around the eyes. I hate using eye drops.
I know.
That are medically okay.
I know.
And I go to my ophthalmologist religiously
Good.
when I'm supposed to, so they could dilate my eyes,
Yeah,
take a look
yeah,
around,
yeah.
and make sure everything's okay. But it drives me crazy
Good.
that they do it. So me taking something that not supposed to go in your eyes, that you use to cook with.
Yeah.
My gosh, this is what you put in the pan
Right.
before you throw something on there so it
Oh
doesn't
my
stick. Putting that in my eyes, I'm not worried about infection. I'm worried about getting blinded.
Wow. Oh, my God.
So yeah, don't put vegetable oil in your eyes.
Yeah, at least use extra virgin olive oil.
At
That's good
least,
for
at
you.
least. Oh, my God.
So yeah, that's the latest around making
Really?
on TikTok. And usually, there's a bunch of stuff that goes around, and it's geared towards teenagers. Teenagers doing stupid stunts, And so they repeat it to see if they can do it too. This one doesn't say it's directed at kids. This one's more directed, if you've got eye issues, you're probably going to be older, and as opposed to kids. So
Cure your glaucoma or macular degeneration. It's going to cure all those
any
things.
eye-related,
Oh, my.
red eyes.
Yeah, real-
don't,
oh,
don't
my,
use
yeah.
Visine.
No.
Use
no,
this.
use it. Oh my God.
Yeah. So, and so doctors, every once in a while, the medical people have to come out and say, please don't do this,
Please don't do that.
because they must see it. It must, a bunch of them must see it at different emergency rooms.
Yeah,
What have you done?
Yeah.
Well, I saw I saw it on social media.
It must
if
be
you
true.
put castor oil in your eyes, it's going to help. And it's like, well, guess what?
It didn't help you, did it?
It didn't at all. So, the only thing I had done to my eyes, and I didn't do this on purpose, and I was like in the 6th grade. I found a can in the woods of Rust-Oleum.
You put that in your eye?
I did.
No, you did not.
Yeah, I did. But it was a mistake, because I was like spray painting. There was still stuff in it, and I was like spray painting rocks and stuff like that. And I put it down, and went and did something else, and then picked it back up. But when I picked it back up, I had turned it around and didn't notice it, and I had it at arm's length, but right at eye level. And I went to go spray, I think, a tree, and when I sprayed it, it went right into my right eye.
Oh my God.
Talk about sting, because I wasn't able to close it in time.
Could we please disclose? Do not put
Please,
Rust-Oleum
Rust-Oleum does
in
not
your eyes.
go in your eyes. First of all, it stings like crazy.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I got home.
But it works. His eye's not rusty at all.
That's right. Although I beep at the TSA check. No, I don't. I'm kidding. But I was brought home. The problem with Rust-Oleum is the color. And so when I went into my house, my mother thought I lost an eye. It looked like I was bleeding when you first look at it, because it's all red. No, Dad, it's okay. Everything's intact. And it was off to the ER. But I was asked by the doctor there, why'd you do that? Well, I didn't do it on purpose.
It was an accident.
Unlike these people that are putting castor oil in their eyes,
yeah.
they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah. Oh my
So,
God.
I do not recommend Rust-Oleum in your eye. So, no, I didn't. And there was no internet back then, so I couldn't post it online.
That's right. Yeah.
Hey, watch
Otherwise-
this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that could have been a viral star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah, really. I mean, the scientific method. You have to test it and see if the same thing happens again when you do it again.
That's right. I should have tried it with my left eye to see if it worked over there.
Show.
So no. Okay.
All right.
So over in New York, the state of New York, in May, they're the first state. They have banned natural gas stoves
Yeah.
in all new buildings.
Yep.
I
Natural
think I
gas and
heard
other
that.
fossil
Yeah.
fuels in new buildings. You have an old
Yes.
building, you can still have one. And so they're the first state to do it. And now, because they got nothing better to do, the Democrats in that state, because they say in the story I got, it's the Democrats, they're going after ice cream trucks.
Oh, really?
Yes. A Democratic councilman from Brooklyn, he's pushing a bill, and he wants to stop Mr. Softy and other ice cream trucks from using generators to keep things cold, because you're ruining the environment. And they want them to switch to electric or solar, because it'll be better for the environment.
Yeah.
And the vendors, like Mr. Softy, are coming back and saying, do you know how much this costs to make the switch?
Oh,
At the minimum, $5,000.
oh, sure.
And that's a lot of ice cream to sell to get to $5,000
Yeah.
to switch out your generator to get something. Will it be as good? Will it keep everything cold? Will it keep everything frozen? I don't know. Will solar keep it all frozen? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. Last time I left ice cream out in the sun, it didn't keep it
No,
frozen.
of course that did not work well. Right.
So so naturally, the Mr. Softy and the other ice cream people, they're pushing back, basically saying, leave us alone. And, please go after something that's more important than than your ice cream trucks.
Ice
'cause
cream trucks.
We're contributing to the pollution, I guess, in the air.
I mean,
But yeah, this guy from Brooklyn who wants to ban them. Yeah.
yeah.
And doesn't Biden want to take out your gas stoves out of your homes?
Yeah, they've passed. They want to pass. Who is it? I forgot the person's name, but whoever it is that's in charge of that kind of stuff says that their goal is to pass 100 new laws in a year on things to ban, like, like gas stoves and air conditioners. And I read one last night about ceiling fans.
What's wrong with those?
What's wrong with those?
I don't know. I couldn't make heads or tails of it, but a lot of stuff that they propose makes no sense to me anyway.
All right.
Yeah, so it was ceiling fans. There was a whole bunch of stuff, but there's 100 new laws that they are trying to get through to that are supposed to do something for the climate. Some of it makes no sense. Some of it might make a little bit of sense.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Your air conditioners, the ozone, the Freon that's in the air conditioners, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, maybe bad, but if you lose electricity, the gas stove always works.
Yes, it does.
Learned that growing up.
Yeah.
My mother always made dinner because
Yeah.
though we got out flashlights to figure out how to work the stove because we could always cook. All right, so. That's what's going on in the state of New York. They're going after Mr. Frosty, Mr. Softy, and your ice cream. That's a lot of ice cream to
And I
get to
mean,
$5,000.
basically, those trucks are out in the summertime.
Just the summertime.
So-
yeah. 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah.
May to about September, I guess.
Yeah, that's a lot of money to retrofit those things for 3 months.
I've only got so many months to make
Just-
my money for the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't need to.
Well,
I
they'll
need
probably
an
pass a
extra.
law next that you can only sell ice cream between
July 4th.
October and May 1st.
There you go.
When it's cold out.
When it's
There you
cold
go.
out.
There you
Nobody
go.
wants it.
No one wants it then, yeah. All right, we're going to take another break here on the Coffee and program. 766-1240 for comments and questions here on ON Radio.
Hi, I'm Kathy LaValle at The Honey Shop. Check out our Facebook page at The Honey Shop RI, and there you'll see a whole list of our new classes and lots of fun things to do. You could join us for making limoncello, pizzas, pasta making, cheese making, so many fun things to do and learn.
Thanks, Kathy. Folks, if you love food, you'll love the Honey Shop, right behind the Dunkin' Donuts at Park Square in Woonsocket. Remote car starters are great to have in the summertime. They can cool off the inside of your car when the sun is blazing. Stop by Inferno Audio on Clinton Street in Woonsocket and speak to Keith about how easy it is to have a remote car starter installed in your vehicle. Now, if your air conditioner isn't working in your car, no problemo. Inferno Audio can make it work. So don't drive around with a hot car burning your fingertips. That's not safe. Plus, they can make car keys for any make or model of vehicle, and the price will be far less than the dealership would tell you. Stop in today and see Keith at Inferno Audio, 160 Clinton Street, Woonsocket, just next to KFC.
Hi, this is Joanne Vorsier Hebert, calling for all classmates of Woonsocket High School class of 1978. Come help us celebrate our 45th reunion at Bella's Restaurant in Glendale, Friday, September 15th from 5 to 10. Looking forward to sharing memories of our past and creating new ones. Please call Linda Barad Senecal at 401-766-3134 for more information. We also have a Facebook page, Woonsocket High Class of 1978, to find out more information also. Hope to see you there.
You can depend on us for public service, ON Radio.
It is Coffee and on ON. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan with Linda Tebow and Ed Carew. And I don't know if you guys knew this. I actually did. One of the little odd pieces of information it kept in my head. There were only 2 states in the United States that do not allow you to pump your own gas. It is against the law. New Jersey's one, and it's against the law for you to pump your own gas. All right?
Really?
Yes. Do you know what the other state is, Ed?
Probably, no, I'm going to guess because I don't know.
Okay.
So I'm going to guess Hawaii.
No, it is Oregon. However, the lawmakers in Oregon smartened up, and they voted to end the ban on self-serve gas. And the governor of Oregon, Tina Kotek, has signed off on it. It was it ends the state's 72-year ban, and they can now pump their own gas. Now, gas stations in New Jersey, they keep pushing the lawmakers. Hey, we want this ban lifted too, but their law's been in effect since 1949.
What's the rationale for that?
pumping your own gas, for
No,
having
for
professional.
not. Yeah.
I don't know. They know what they're doing. Whatever. The gas stations say, hey, if we lift this ban, the self-serve gas would allow them to lower their prices because we don't have to pay someone to do it.
Yeah.
So I really don't know what the effect is, or why it's a good thing. We
Wonder
need to
why.
have professional gas pumpers.
Yeah, why?
And I was on the phone with somebody one time when I didn't know this, and it was at another job, and the person said, "Hang on for a minute," and you could hear her talking out the window. Okay, put $20 of unleaded in the gas, and I said, "What are you made of money?" That you get to go and have someone pump your own gas? She says, "Oh, it's illegal to pump your own gas in New Jersey." This is like 20 years ago. I said, "Wow, I never knew that. Really? You? What happens if you do? They come running out and say, "Oh, no." I'm thinking like people from out of state who just won't know this law.
Right.
They come running out. Oh, stop! We have to do that for you.
Well,
You
don't
do?
get me wrong. I don't like to pump gas, so I go to those places where they pump gas.
Oh, all right.
Yeah,
Well, okay.
I do. And the prices
But you
usually.
choose- you
I
choose to-
choose to,
you choose
but
to do that.
and I get where I go,
Yeah.
it doesn't cost any more
More.
money.
Okay.
So, but why? It doesn't make sense.
It must have made sense back in 1949. People don't know what they're doing. Maybe it was more complicated. Did they mix oil and gas in the engine way back then? I don't know.
I don't know, but I know one thing is that up until, and I don't know how many years ago, I'm going to say 20, 25, maybe 30 years ago, you could mistakenly put diesel into your gas tank
You can do
because
that,
the dispenser was the same size.
Same
The-
size.
the-
Oh, okay.
the
Are they
nozzle was
yeah.
the same size.
Are they different now?
Yeah.
Because
As
I
far
see
as
them.
I know they are.
When I go to like Cumberland Farms, you see the diesel pump. It's
Yeah.
a different color, so you don't pick it up. I didn't realize it's a different size.
I believe
too.
they are.
Okay. So I don't know. They put it a law into effect in '49, and they've just kept it that way. We need. Let's get Chris Christie on the show.
Yeah.
Is-
Okay.
He'll be able to let us know why. So yeah. So they're the last state in the union where you cannot pump your own gas. So. And I don't know what you, Ed, but I've taught at least 5 people how to pump strangers how to pump their gas at a self-serve gas station. And they've been women, and they've been, I would say, over 60. That is, well, it came down to money, or they couldn't find a full service. But now they're going to try to do it for the first time, and they just lost. Well, what do you do first?
Yeah.
How does this whole thing work, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I've been able to teach them
Yeah.
how to do it.
I did it a couple of times. I didn't like it.
You know, like, well,
No, I like
wouldn't
to
it's-
say.
fill it up, please. So you haven't had the fun of standing out there in 10-degree weather?
No, I have
where
not.
you've forgotten your
No.
gloves?
No, I have not.
You're just
No,
shaking
no,
because it's so
sorry.
cold?
No.
Oh, it's
no.
good times.
Is that? Yeah. Well, I'm missing that.
And the rain.
No, it's
when
okay.
it's pouring on you. And
Yeah.
yeah, they have a nice
Photo-
roof.
yeah,
but
yeah.
It always comes in sideways,
Sure it
so
does.
you're getting
Yeah,
wet
yeah.
anyway.
That's what I like about Joe. He's easy to please.
Yeah.
You know, makes him happy. It doesn't take much.
All right, now let's see. What other fun things are going on? All right, told you about that. Well, the Barbie movie is doing so well. Any plans to see it?
No.
None. Ed, any
No.
plans to see it?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, the movie is doing so well. How well is it doing?
How well is it doing?
Weird Barbie, who's the breakout character from the movie,
Yes.
is getting its own doll.
She's getting her doll. I
didn't
saw
know there
that.
was a weird Barbie in
I
the
didn't know
movie.
that either, but I saw
Oh,
that.
okay.
She was getting
The
it.
doll is inspired by Kate McKinnon's character, complete with a pink baby doll dress, short, spiky blonde hair,
Yeah.
with pink and blue highlights, squiggly forehead line, and a circle around her eye.
Yeah.
I guess that's to distinguish her from regular Barbie.
Oh, it surely does.
Oh, it
too.
does.
Yeah,
Okay,
I saw the
then.
picture. I said, "Oh my gosh."
So on Instagram, Mattel, who owns Barbie, they wrote, quote, "Barbie knows what it's like to play just a little too much," unquote, when announcing the doll, which you can now pre-order by August 18th. no telling what the cost
I was going to
is.
say, I wonder what it costs.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
have that amount.
Yeah.
I wish I had that information.
And you know, in the skating world, which I just came from, spent 4 days with the skaters of the world, and
That's all they're talking about.
so that
The young
because
girls.
remember when Frozen came out,
Yes,
and
that was big.
do you know how often we heard that
Let It
song?
Go? Yeah.
Because Let It Go, and every little girl dressed in that
wanted to skate to it,
and
yeah.
now they said, wait till this year, it's going to be all
Barbie-
Barbie.
Barbie movie.
It'll be all Barbie. Yeah.
Well, the Barbie movie's so well, it's earned more than $1 billion globally at the box office. It makes it the first film solely directed by a woman to ever cross the $1 billion mark. So it's doing well, and I'm happy to say that my daughter has added to that $1 billion twice.
Really?
She's already seen it twice.
Well, you know what? People that have gone, I've heard them say it's refreshing. It's
Is it?
silly. It's just
It's silly, yeah.
It's silly. It's refreshing. It's not. People aren't shooting anybody. You know that kind of.
Nothing blows up.
There's nothing blows up. There's no violence. There's and they find it like it's a little too much pink for me.
Well, that's Barbie. My daughter did tell me something. I thought this was funny about how males are perceived, I guess, in the world. Ken, who goes into the real world, and he goes into a building, an employment place, looking for a job. I'm here to apply for a job. And well, what kind of skills do you have? Well, I lay on the beach.
Yeah.
Well, what else? Well, that's about it. Well, we need someone with experience. And he's like, well, I just thought you'd hire me because I'm a man.
Yeah.
So my daughter actually thought that was funny. So she told me that part.
That's
I
pretty
said,
funny.
all right, that is amusing.
It is. Yeah.
that happens. So, but I don't plan. I still don't plan to go.
No,
see,
I
see it
don't
at the
plan to
theaters.
go.
And
I
I'm
don't
glad my
plan to
daughter
go
is
see it.
old enough. She can buy her own weird Barbie doll if she really wants it.
She went twice
She's been twice to see it with her friends.
with her friends.
because they liked it so much.
Yeah. Well, that's what I've been hearing from people that do go. They really
They liked it, but I've also seen other reviews of it saying it's just trash.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's silly.
Yeah,
It's-
and there's nothing wrong with that
No.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's funny because I don't know. I think I told you guys she went to go see the movie. She went to go see Barbie with her friends. Then they went out to eat, and then they went back to the same movie theater to see Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
I said, talk about two
people-
totally
two
different
totally
kind of
different- yeah,
movies.
Yeah. Yeah. But it seems that's what people were doing.
Yeah.
Those two.
They went to go see them both. I said on the
Opposite
same
ends.
day.
Yeah.
But no, that's what she
Yeah.
wanted. That's what
Yeah.
they wanted to do. So
Yeah.
okay, so there you go. And we'd all been hearing about Taylor Swift and her concerts and how much money she gave to her truck drivers and things like that. Beyonce paid $100,000 to keep the Washington D.C. metro stations open after her concert. I guess they closed like the T in Boston, and but we had to keep them open so people could get home. And so she basically paid the people that drive the train to stay late. So Washington, D.C. transportation officials say Beyonce paid $100,000 to keep all metro stations open after her concert on Sunday night. The pop superstar's show at the FedEx Field got delayed due to heavy rain and lightning. Beyonce shelled out the money to keep trains running and have all 98 stations stay open an extra hour. The stadium issued a shelter-in-place warning to fans that lasted nearly 2 hours. And several people were treated for heat exhaustion during the delay due to packed concourses. And I've always worried about that it's been a long time since I've been to Fenway Park. But when I do go, I usually take some form of the T to get there. But I always worried about that when the game goes into extra innings, having to leave the game to catch the train.
Right. Yeah.
And it because I know it doesn't run 24 hours.
Yeah.
And that always drives me crazy. It hasn't happened yet where I've had to make a decision. Do I stay or do I have to go because the green line's going to shut down in 5 minutes?
Yeah.
But people got to make that decision.
Yeah.
And so that was nice of her and she has the money.
Well, she can afford it, but that
She
was
certainly
very
can.
Thinking of her fans.
Thinking of
That
the
was
fans
good.
because the show started late, so you're going to be going home late. So we need the trains to be running
Yeah.
an extra hour late. So that all makes perfect sense for her. So that was very nice. So let's see. That's about it about the crazy stuff. They did have a major meth bust at the U.S.-Mexico border. Does that surprise you?
No.
No? Does that surprise you?
No.
They executed a major drug bust at the U.S.-Mexico border. The Calexico West Port of Entry, which is in California, uncovered 41 packages of methamphetamines concealed in the floorboards and seats of a sedan trying to cross into the U.S. last week. Officers found plastic-wrapped packages in the floorboards on initial inspection, which set off secondary inspection. They found packages weighing in at least over 240 pounds and had an estimated street value of $360,000. The driver, who was only 20, was detained by Homeland Security. He probably said, "That's not mine."
Of course. Yeah, I don't know how it got.
I don't know how it got.
How'd they get there?
I'm just driving.
My friend's car.
It's just my friend's car. He asked me to drive it across the border. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know anything about it. Then why do you have $100,000 in cash? That's my bank account. I hit the lottery. It doesn't say if he had that amount of money on it, but it's an electric car. That's why it weighs so much, Ed.
Yeah.
The extra 240 pounds that's the battery for the Tesla. So, all right. Well, he got caught, and now Homeland Security has him for now. So we'll see where that goes. All right, that wraps it up for the show for today. Thank you very much for listening, as always. Ed Crew, thanks for coming in today.
Always a pleasure.
All right, Linda Tebow, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. Have yourself a wonderful day. Watch out for the rain today, and stay tuned for Do You Remember Gary Smith and the Crew coming your way at 9:30 here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. The price of gasoline continues to rise here in Rhode Island. AAA reports it's $3.73 a gallon on average. That's 7-cent increase since last week. The current national average is $3.82 per gallon. After passing a fiscal 2024 budget a month late, Massachusetts State Senate President Karen Spilka defends the legislature. On Channel 4 TV's On the Record Sunday, she said legislators work